All right, guys, we are back for round 3. Got Tyler Claypole on the left, or excuse me, on the right. He is playing Merfolk versus Daniel Mohorski. On the left, he's playing Suicide Blue. Brain, why am I looking at a Deathrite Shaman? He's not legal in this format.
So, occasionally we like to add a little bit of spice to the future matches. They're kind of chosen a little bit randomly. So we have an opportunity to, these guys are going to play for an Eternal Masters pack. So the winner of this match is going to get to open that pack. They can keep it. I have gently, tried to plant the seed that they should, open it on stream.
Yeah, for sure.
Uh,
they have
yeah.
to. They have to, or they don't get it. There's actually 2 other matches in the non-camera area that are playing for Eternal Masters packs as well.
Oh, that's kind of exciting. A little extra, doesn't matter if you're in the X1 bracket or whatever. Yeah,
Nope. We chose 3 random tables, and we had some tough technical difficulties tonight. The F&M is running a little bit slower than normal, so we just thought we'd kick a little bit of value into the community.
Well, that's awfully nice. So Daniel right here is going to be fetching down to 17 to play a Steam Vents. He's playing Suicide Blue. The things that this deck are trying to do is play these very efficient creatures like Swift Spear, which we see right here, and generate a lot of prowess triggers in order to kill their opponent as quickly as possible. Some of the other creatures that they play are Kiln Fiend. We saw Thing in the Ice earlier tonight, and Bedlam Reveler.
Does deck play Delver?
No.
Nope.
So
Okay.
no Delver.
It's really interesting to have a blue-red spell-based deck that doesn't play Delver.
Yeah. No, this Delver's not aggressive enough for this deck. So we just want to turn things sideways.
Curse Catcher seems like it could be an okay play here.
Oh, okay. So do you? Nah, you just let this resolve.
Yeah, I mean, I think you save that for maybe Daniel casts Tamir Battle Rage and forgets Curse Catchers in play or something like that.
So I've looked at a bunch of different unfair decks. I generally like to play on the fairer side of Magic.
This is a swing for 4.
Yeah, it is a swing for 4.
So Tyler down to 16.
But the Suicide Blue deck is something that
15.
I would consider myself playing. And say maybe a championship style event. Oh, Tyler Claypole going to be spreading season.
I wondered
Daniel's
if that was going to happen.
Only land at this point.
Yeah. All right, Curse Catcher in for 1. 14.
So Daniel has access to a lot of different free spells that might punish Tyler for just, casually swinging for 1 here.
I mean, he with Curse Catcher, you can swing out and still potentially use it for interaction. But I understand. Yeah.
And Daniel's also not drawing dead here. A lot of his spells still just cost blue mana. So a lot of the cantrips are going to find him access to his other lands.
Yeah, I see a sleight of hand. Yeah.
They're still 100% life here, and they still generate prowess.
Yeah.
So.
All right, so here's the sleight of hand. Now, sleight of hand is one of the lesser played cantrips in this format. You take the 2 cards from the top of your library, put 1 on bottom, 1 in your hand.
Yep. So Daniel right there just found access to his second land drop in the form of a Flooded Strand.
So that can get him another Steam Vents, and he's right back to where he was.
Yep.
So for sleight of hand, the only other decks that I can really think of that play it generally are Storm and Ad Nauseam.
Yeah, when you're just really doing nothing but wanting to try to sift through your deck as quickly as possible and find things. Here,
it's a prowess triggers, draw you cards. Yep.
Prowess triggers and draws you cards.
That die in the middle of the table, I believe, is representing the number of prowess triggers his creatures have.
Mm-hmm. So Daniel is aggressively fetching and shocking here down to 13. Or is it even more at this point?
He's down to 11. He was...
Oh, yeah, because of the probe. And he's going to just Vapor Snag
for the prowess trigger. Plus, it takes Tyler from 15 down to 14.
So that's 2 prowess triggers. So this is going to be a big old swing for 6.
Yeah, take Tyler down to 8. This is This deck seems good.
It's fun.
It also has a better mana base than the regular Suicide Zoo.
Daniel's currently counting how much damage he can do with the prowess triggers and mutagenic growths here. And that's basically a giant growth every time you cast 1. But giant growth plus 1 because you have 2 creatures with prowess.
Right. So...
Alright, so...
Right now they have 4 power, but one of them has 6.
Yep. And now...
now they both
5
have 7.
Power. 5 power plus the 2 in each.
Yeah, so they both have 7. So that's 14. We're going to game 2?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
he's just going to explain this to Tyler.
Tyler's like, oh. Well. Just, okay. Just gently picks up his cards. Daniel just sliding across that piece of Mana's Disruption.
Right,
The spreading seas right back to Tyler.
Daniel Mohorski up a game over Tyler Claypole. Suicide Blue over Merfolk. That was, that was fast. All right.
So
We might be eating dinner sooner than I thought.
you like what this deck's doing? Is this the first time that you?
This is my. I didn't know this was a deck until this evening.
All right, so this is the second time we've had Daniel on camera tonight, and that was more of kind of what the Suicide Blue deck can do without interruption.
Right.
And even a little bit of mana disruption.
So that was a turn 3 kill on the play with. Technically, Tyler had the ability to interact at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, technically.
He did some mana denial.
He had a Spreading Seas, and he had the option to activate Curse Catcher at some point. Yeah, that was. But I mean, still, really, that felt like he just. It felt like a goldfish.
So Daniel actually made the really heads-up play there
Mm-hmm.
by Vapor Snagging the Curse Catcher. It prevented Tyler from being able to counter one of the mutagenic growths.
Right.
Which now you still get the prowess triggers, but he would have been able to.
The best that Tyler could have done there is counter the Vapor Snag and not have lost a life off the resolution of the Vapor Snag.
Exactly, which was not.
Was not relevant. Yeah. So that was super heads up. He just had Tyler in the bad spot.
Yeah. So here I'm kind of expecting Tyler to realize that Daniel already has islands, and that he's not going to do a good job with maybe cutting him off a color with the Spreading Seas.
I think from the Merfolk side, I'm dropping Spreading Seas and boarding in my Spell Pierces and Dismembers.
Yeah. I mean, Dismember, it's costly, but maybe you don't lose the game as a result.
Yeah, and also Vapor Snags.
Cheap interactions.
So maybe and Master Waves is maybe a card you can trim on.
Yeah, the more expensive things. You're trying to make it to turn 4.
Maybe,
not to cast the Master Waves, just so the game's still going on.
Maybe your Harbinger of the Tides become Tidebinder Mages?
They tap red creatures, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you could lock down a Kiln Fiend
and bouncing
or Reveler.
Bouncing a Swift Spear, unless you're vialing it in, is not good.
Yeah, do you actually, maybe on the draw here, would you cut files?
On the draw?
Because you just don't have a lot of time for them.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Okay, now I've played a little bit of Merfolk.
Sure.
Not a lot. I don't feel like you do, because you have to resign yourself. If there's a game, Revile is too slow, you're probably not winning that game.
I guess that's true. On Daniel's side, he's probably not looking to change too much of his major game plan. Maybe board in a few pieces of removal. Maybe knowing that there's going to be a lot of creatures on the ground on Tyler's side, playing a card like Storm Chaser Mage.
And I'm going to say this now. I think Tyler might be a little discouraged because he didn't touch his sideboard. And I know you're going to watch this later, Tyler, and I'm going to tell you right now, I know that losing a game like that is rough. Like, it feels bad. But you still got to, you can win 2 games in a row, and you got to dig in, and you got to, okay, what can I do here? Take a look at your sideboard, and just think for a couple minutes.
What's a little bit better. There's always a card that's a little bit better in your sideboard.
I didn't see Daniel touch his sideboard either, but that's for.
Oh, he did.
He did. Okay.
He did a quick glance. I don't think he sideboarded too much. Again, I feel as though Suicide Blue's major game plan here, at being very aggressive and proactive, is good, and you don't want to over sideboard and dilute that.
Right. Tyler's taking a real quick mulligan.
Yeah, Daniel didn't have any lands, so we have seen mulligans from both our players.
I think there's a lot you can do sideboarding here for Merfolk. Like, Master of the Waves is not going to be a card that's going to get you anywhere.
Yeah, you're looking at maybe trimming on Master Waves. Cure Great Glassspinner probably isn't going to do you too much.
No, that's probably main board as a hedge against some of our Jund players.
Sure, and
Grixis players and Jessica, yeah.
So, I think Tyler's major game plan here is to play some powerful 1-drops. I guess with Curse Catcher and.
No, he did sideboard.
Do you see something?
I saw a Spellskite in there. He's sneaky. Tyler, I'm sorry. I apologize.
Was he able to sneak some cards in there?
He must have done that quick. I do apologize, Tyler. Oh, he's going to be pissed at me.
It's all right.
He's mad at me every day anyway. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. All right, so we're looking at both of our players going down to 6 cards here.
I see a Vapor Snag and an island, so I think Tyler's keeping that 6. Spreading. He kept the spreading season.
That's fine.
I mean, this deck is a little greedy on its mana base. Not greedy like a typical Suicide Zoo deck is.
Tyler better have access to a second land because he did leave a Master of Waves on top of his deck there.
He scryed a Master of the Waves to the top.
Yes, he did.
I'm just going to say he's keeping. No, that's a Lord of Atlantis.
Okay, so he had an Orboro.
Okay, yeah, okay, so yeah. All right, we're
okay.
I mean, still, like, even though that Lord is dying, like, Daniel's not
That's
deploying
fine.
creatures.
Three damage, not at your face.
Yeah, and like it's turn 2 and he doesn't have a creature in play. This is okay for Tyler, and he has more. Yeah. Okay.
Yep, more bolts.
I still think this is okay for Tyler.
His best blue-red control impersonation.
And I think if we're talking role assessment here, Daniel's the aggro deck. He doesn't want to be the control deck.
No, he doesn't want to be doing this. He'd rather be deploying a creature, but it doesn't appear that Daniel has found any.
Yeah, I think so. Tyler's still in a fine spot. Sleight of hand.
Sleight of hand, looking for a threat to deploy.
I swear I saw a Flusterstorm, but that can't be the case.
Your mind really is stuck on Legacy this evening, isn't it?
Every day.
Every day.
Every day.
All right. Well, maybe we can play some this evening.
Maybe. All right.
So
Steven's tapped and passed.
Yeah, Daniel playing all these lands tapped indicate to me that he hasn't drawn a threat, or he has like a Bedlam Reveler hanging out in his hand.
So he's just getting to the point where he can cast it. Actually, I do think I might have seen one there. Okay, so Tyler's cycling the Spreading Seas.
Oh, no creature, no land drop out of Tyler either.
Yeah. And Merfolk can sometimes be okay on 2 lands, but I mean, in the modern version, you really want to get up to 4. Okay, Kiln Fiend, that's a strong one. Pauper All-Star, Tyler probably hasn't seen it before. So whenever Daniel casts an instant or sorcery, Kiln Fiend gets +2/+0.
It's kind of super prowess.
It's like super prowess, yeah.
Yeah, so Tyler...
It's super aggro prowess because you're trading the point of toughness for a point of power.
So you got to be careful here. Tyler does have access to 1 mana up, so he's representing Dismember or
Vapor Snag.
Vapor-Snag.
Which he does have a Vapor Snag in his hand. So Manamorphose, 1 super prowess trigger. Daniel's going to draw a card and put 2 mana in his mana pool.
Just a little bit of filtering. Draws into a second Manamorphose.
This is going to be really good for that Vapor Snag. Does this
3 Manamorphose?
Does this deck run Apostle's Blessing?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it slowly gets scarier and scarier as he cycles these cards and has a chance to draw one of those.
With Kiln Fiend, this is +6, not +3.
Is it 6 or 9?
Well, I mean, every time he gets an instant or sorcery, he gets +2.
Oh, it's +2?
Yeah.
Okay.
So right now it's a 8-1, I believe. I'm going to bring up Kiln Fiend just to double check here. So it's +3. Oh, yeah, you're right. My bad.
So this is attempted a boatload of damage. There's with a Vapor Snag.
Yep. Okay. So
casting 3 spells there is 9 plus the double strike plus the 1 on the natural power on Kill Fiend would have been swinging for 20.
That was rough. The Vapor Snag was really good, and also took Daniel from 20 to 19. So Tyler's now winning.
I feel like if you're Daniel, you still go for that.
Yeah, no, you have to make them have their 2 sideboard cards. Or
Tyler does have a lot of spells. All right, Tyler just drawing these turn 4 and 5 Aether Vials.
Yep.
But
I still don't hate Tyler's spot here.
No, I mean Daniel has to redeploy his Kiln Fiend.
Is this like a 12? Does this deck have 12 threats, 16 threats?
Let's see here. 4 Killed Fiend, 4 Swift Spear, 4 Thing in the Ice, and maybe 2 or 3 Bedlam Reveler.
Okay.
So we're not looking at too many.
But he did just deploy 2.
Yeah. Tyler does have access to another spell, Vapor Snag, but that's not going to be enough if Daniel is able to put all of these prowess triggers on the stack.
Yeah, I mean it's scary because Tyler's missed that third land drop.
Yeah, and Tyler has to tap out at some point.
Yes, and he did choose to tap out for this Lord of Atlantis instead of holding up Vapor Snag, which I think is correct since Daniel has 2 threats.
Yeah, and the Lord of Atlantis is always going to have Island Walk against the Suicide Blue Bust.
As long as there's another Lord of Atlantis in play.
Yeah.
Of course, it's scary to just tap out like this because, I mean, like I said, I don't think he should have held up Vapor Snag, but it is scary just the same because he could just die here.
All right, we're gonna
Vapor Snag.
Yep, that's prowess trigger number 2.
Do you have days? Nope. Okay, so Tyler's down to 19.
So we might just see a run back of the last play here.
Mm-hmm. Not 3-mana Morphos, though.
No, yeah. If we did that, we might have to go get a judge and see what Daniel's up to. But
not cool.
So I'm pretty sure this is going to end up being lethal. He's
Flooded Strand, Mutagenic Growth.
So each of those mutagenic growths basically say pay 2 life +5/+5 to kill Fiend.
Does he have 2?
He does.
Okay. And that will flip the thing in the ice.
It will, which...
Okay,
but here's the problem with flipping the thing in the ice.
It bounces the Kiln Fiend.
The Kiln Fiend is not a horror.
It's an elemental beast.
So he has to be careful about flipping the...
He can't miss that trigger.
Nope.
So he just has to let the Kiln Fiend swing in. Oh, and Tyler does have... Oh! That's great. That's great. Harbinger of the Tides... That card is so good. Like, everyone's like, yeah, I guess Merfolk will play that card. And it's just, every time I see it, it's
like
just
swing
great.
For lethal. Just kidding. Not Chump Blocker, Time Walk.
Especially in this format that's like Infect, Burns, Zoo, this deck. Like.
So what's really cool here is...
And now Tyler has a board.
Tyler has access to the other Violon 2 here. So he could even...
He has a Phantasmal Image, yeah.
The Harbinger.
Or the Spellskite. Or no. Yeah, or the Spellskite, and he still gets to hold up Vapor Snag.
Yeah, he's got a lot.
Okay, so swing for 3. Daniel's down to 12. And all of a sudden, Tyler's back in this game.
Just getting aggressive, copying the Lord of Atlantis. Little does Tyler know his entire board...
So Daniel's actually at 11.
Yeah, but here's the cool thing. Tyler just activated both of his vials.
Yeah.
So if Daniel is able to cobble together enough cantrips here into, say, Mutagenic Growth, Tumor Battle Rage, Tyler could still just die because he doesn't have the ability to activate one of those vials
to play the Spellskite.
Or another Harbinger to bounce.
Yeah, I feel like leaving up the vial makes Daniel think. It also gives him the option to play the Spellskite, and the extra 1 damage he got in probably wasn't worth it.
But here he can just go ham.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He does have Vapor Snag.
Cool thing. Do you know what Spellskite's types are?
Horror.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I know all the horrors. When this card came out, I'm like, all right, Revoker, Spellskite,
let's try to find everyone that was
Mono
relevant.
Blue horrors. Let's do it.
All right.
So he just goes ahead and Vapor Snags it in response to the first spell. Daniel's from 11 down to 10.
Yep. The spell that's trying to remove the final ice counter. So it's before the flip.
Well,
before
okay,
any of
so
that.
if your plan was to just Vapor Snag right away, then them playing the Phantasmal Image makes a little more sense.
I guess so. If that was your only line.
Because now Daniel can deploy both his threats, but they both have sickness.
Mm-hmm.
And Tyler gets to untap and swing for a big chunk. And if any lords he rips are live, and any interaction he rips are lives, and he still has Spellskite in his hand to violin on the following turn.
A lot of things going on here.
Merfolk is a little bit deeper than most people give credit.
I would agree with that. A lot of people just think they're little fish that are trying to, swim upstream and kill.
It's blue burn. People don't always respect it.
So, all right.
So the Lord dying does hurt Tyler a little bit here.
It slows down the clock. It probably gives Daniel an extra draw step.
It's funny. I'm not even sure if Tyler wanted to see the third land here. I mean, it does get him closer to Master of Waves, but I think another Lord or another, like a Vapor Snag or a Dismember is probably...
So is that Spellskite in English?
No.
Do you think Tyler's going to know that it's a horror?
Probably not. Probably not.
All right.
But
Tyler with a casual little swing for 2 here.
We won't let the Spellskite get bounced. We won't.
No.
For long.
I'm sure Daniel knows it's a horror. So Harbinger swings for 3 here with the aided unblockability granted by the Phantasmal Image that is copying the Lord of Atlantis from a previous turn.
Yep. It takes Daniel from 9 down to 6. Missed a fetch land there.
Daniel is deploying a second thing in the ice. He drew his creatures a bit later than this deck.
Yeah, and he's also drawn a lot of creatures in a row instead of spells.
Exactly. He's sitting on 1 Mutagenic Growth. And if Tyler's able to draw another Lord effect here, he may just win.
And these creatures are not impressive when they don't have spells.
3 unblockable.
Daniel just has to take it. That's mutagenic growth, right?
Yep.
Okay, so he's just making a show of this, which is fine. Does he have something
Oh, he can target the Phantasmal Image.
to kill it, and then he
Yeah.
gets to block the Harbinger? Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. That's heads up.
Now,
I like
Tyler has the option to violin the Spell Guide here.
Which I think I like that play. I think this is a good opportunity.
And then you can either...
He can pay the blue.
Yep.
Yep.
Pay the blue to...
Okay. And then redirect the mutagenic growth to the Spellskite. Well, actually, no,
It
it doesn't work because as
It's
soon
target.
as... Yeah, the target. So the Phantasmal Image will die either way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. We got a little ahead of ourselves there.
But Tyler will have a 2/6 Spellskite.
Yes. That Tyler will have.
Okay, so it looks like they're just discussing how this works. We'll give them another minute before we pop down there because unfortunately, we're not able to have a judge on the floor this evening.
At least not in the future match area.
Yeah, our regular floor judge is off with his girlfriend this evening. All right,
I got it.
one of us is going to pop down there and just help them decipher this situation out here. Hey guys, by the way, thanks for tuning in tonight. I am Ryan O'Loughlin. With me is Brian Huffman. We are broadcasting our weekly Modern F&M from Four Horsemen Comics and Gaming. We're in Morgantown Mall in Morgantown, West Virginia. We also have locations in Waynesburg, Pennsylvania, and Clarksburg, West Virginia, located downtown in Waynesburg and in the Meadowbrook Mall in Bridgeport. We are in round 3 of our F&M. Tomorrow, we are streaming our annual Players Championship. Every year we have a championship series where players play in events throughout the year to earn points to hopefully qualify for the top 16 at the end of the year, where they get to play for a cash prize and a free year of F&Ms. We are streaming that tomorrow. We have pregame show at 11:30. Round 1 begins at 12. They're playing 3 rounds of Modern, followed by 3 rounds of Legacy with a cut of top 4 where the higher seed gets to choose between those 2 formats for their match. All right, so it looks like the players have resolved the stack, and Tyler is following it up with a giant Master of Waves who's brought the Squirtle Squad to town. Those are RK Post tokens, and he did alter them for me to add the sunglasses. The one in the middle has the pointy ones. That's Ash's Squirtle. And he kicked it back to Daniel, who ripped a Serum Visions, finally got a spell to go along with these creatures.
So what's really cool with the Serum Visions is it gives him a live draw. And he could bounce all this back and set Tyler back.
Yeah, he just needs one more spell.
Yeah. Anything.
I mean, I
Anything
guess
at all.
technically Tyler will still have a blocker.
Yeah.
And he's just got that can't land.
Spire Bluff Canal.
I was trying to say canal, and it just didn't. It just didn't come out. All right, so he's repping something.
So what do you think about the just difference here in between games 1 and 2?
I'm glad we had a game in game 2. That's good. And I like to see those quick non-interactive kills occasionally on camera because they're good
fun.
for they're
cool.
fun. They're good for the camera. We just don't want to see them all the time. All right, so is that a second Master of Waves? What?
Tyler just going to get the stack of tokens. All right, so he's going to deploy. Yep.
What was it I said about Master of Waves in this matchup?
That it wasn't good enough.
I'm just going to stop talking about sideboarding.
Yeah.
I'm just going to stop.
So, guys, we're going to start taking a little poll here, and every time Ryan mentions a card, we're going to try and figure out if that card is what kills their opponent.
I'm 2 for 2 tonight.
Yeah.
Going all the way.
All right, Tyler.
Well, I'm probably 2 for 2. We'll see.
Do you think Tyler sees the line here?
Why don't you tell us the line?
Swing.
Okay.
With a lot.
With a lot.
Yeah. So your creatures aren't unblockable this time, but you do
Oh my
have
God.
2 Master of the Waves buffing all the elementals to be 3.
Look at that army. There's a Blastoise, an Articuno, a Venusaur. Like, how do you get past that?
I don't know. Blastoise swings for about 60.
Yeah, okay. So Tyler Claypole tying it up 1-1, Merfolk against Suicide Blue. We're going to game 3, folks. I'm excited.
All right, so I do think one thing changes, and that's kind of dramatic here. Daniel's deck, with all the Swift Spears and these aggressive 2-drops, becomes a lot better on the play than on the draw.
You think so?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. Fair assessment.
One of our store regulars in the chat complaining that they aren't Snorlax tokens.
Yeah. All right, Paul. We get it. You like Snorlax.
But today I went down there and I gave them some of my tokens, so we have access to the full original starter sets.
Plus Articuno.
Plus Articuno, Moltres, and Zapdos.
Do you know the synergy between their names?
Uno, dos, tres.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That blew my mind when I found out. I think it was like 11. I don't know. But it's just like blew my mind, man.
So everything possible there went Tyler's way. Daniel didn't have an aggressive creature draw. He kind of got stuck on mana for a turn.
Well, so did Tyler, though. He missed his.
I guess so.
He missed his third lane drop. I want to say 3 times.
Yeah,
it was significant, but I mean, because
and
he had
even was able to overcome the fact that he played like a turn 4 and turn 5.
I think that game was a great showcase for the power of Aether Vial, because he missed his third land drop at least about 3 turns in a row, but because he had 2 Aether Vials out, even late Aether Vials,
sure,
he was able to hold up mana for spell interaction and still deploy creatures / deploy creatures that could interact in like Spellskite and Harbinger of the Tides.
Very true. All right,
and I would say Tyler almost had a mana advantage in that game.
Yeah, from the spells that he was able to cheat in, just a delayed mana advantage. So both of our players are looking here to draw 7. We can clearly see Tyler's hands. So far, I don't see any lands.
Nope, he's gonna have to ship that one.
Yep. Meanwhile, from Daniel, I see a Serum Visions and I think a Flooded Strand. So
I see Kiln Fiend, 2 Serum Visions, a Manamorphose.
I think you definitely keep this. You have cantrips to find your second land and a lot of and two creature payoff spells.
Right, but he's still not having that like Swift Spear into kill you start.
Right, that's true.
Which I mean, obviously he's not going to have that every time.
Right, but you play the cards to draw them. So.
Yep, exactly.
Daniel looks like he's excited down there as Tyler shuffles up for his 6.
See, Paul's sitting at home watching. Maybe he's trying to spec in and see what people are going to play tomorrow.
Oh, for the Players' Championship event?
Mm-hmm. Like, what's everybody else playing tonight here at F&M?
We know what Paul's playing tomorrow. We won't spoil anything, but I got a pretty good guess.
I have a guess as well, and I will not say anything because as soon as I think Paul's playing Bloom, I know this chat is going to Ryan, what are you doing?
Oh, Paul will fry you.
He will fry me,
right,
and rightly so, because
Tyler
that would not be cool.
Yep, Tyler drawing up a 6 here, trying to find something. Looks like he's going to keep and scry. It looks like a Curse Catcher to me. Consults his hand to see if he's going to put that Curse Catcher on top or bottom.
I like that card in this matchup. I don't think Curse Catcher always shines as well in Modern as it does in Legacy, but this seems like a matchup where it could. Paul
claims he's playing eggs.
Show up with it. Show up with it.
I declare no balls. So Daniel's sitting here, going to scry 2 off the Serum Visions and put both cards on the bottom, just looking for an aggressive creature. Tyler going to tap a nice, pretty island and put out a Curse Catcher, hoping to maybe Force Spike one of Daniel's early spells.
Okay. Daniel's being aggressive with his
Kiln Fiend. So this is if you're not going to draw a bunch of 1-drop creatures, Kiln Fiend might be the most aggressive creature you can play on turn 2.
He's probably like, I mean, obviously I've only seen a couple games with this game. He seems like probably the best creature to find an avenue to kill on turn 3.
It's fewer spells.
Well, actually, that's probably not true. Thing in the Ice, I mean, he also he lets you chain cards and also bounces the blockers.
So think about it this way.
/ doesn't die to bolt.
Yeah, think about it this way. Kiln Fiend with his super aggressive prowess with a +3/+0 means you have to cast fewer spells for a lethal lethal Teamer Battle Rage.
Right.
Where with Thing in the Ice, you have to be able to cast at least 4 spells, and he doesn't benefit from any prowess triggers.
Right. Okay. So you're saying that Thing in the Ice is Kaioken and Kiln Fiend is Kamehameha.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure. I like the analogy.
Paul, if anybody's playing Pod tomorrow, it's me, and I'm not even in the event. So I can sit down for a round 1 match, bust out a birthing pod deck, and it won't hurt anybody.
All right. So
Actually, I forgot. There's Legacy tomorrow. So
we are tomorrow.
He could be playing pots.
Tomorrow there is a 2-portion event with a players championship that people have qualified throughout the year, where you will get the opportunity to play either or throughout the day Legacy and Modern with during the Swiss and a cut to top 8.
Top 4.
Excuse me, top 4.
Yep. And we are streaming that on this channel. Pre-game show starts at 11:30. Round 1 starts at 12. Definitely tune in to catch some great Eternal Magic. We have a lot of very experienced players.
Looking to have a lot of fun and cast a lot of really powerful spells.
Yep.
So Daniel just spent a little bit of time casting a Vapor Snag, and he's going to turn this Killed Bean sideways and probably just say, Tyler, do you want to take a bunch or do you want to chump?
I think that's an interesting decision when you're choosing a target for the Vapor Snag. Do you choose the Silvergill Adept or the Curse Catcher? And I don't think it's obvious.
Generally with I think, yeah, I agree. I don't think it's obvious. I think sometimes you want to leverage forcing Tyler to make the decision to, force spike something. And sometimes you just want to cut off a blocker.
Right. And he did leave Tyler with some amount of interaction in play, but he's also probably not thinking that he's going all the way with a kill this turn. Because I think if that was the plan, like if you're like, oh, I'm going to try and kill him this turn, then you probably bounce the Curse Catcher.
Sure. But if Tyler was paying attention, he might be able to figure out that he doesn't have lethal. Like, you don't have access to enough cantrips and Manamorphose, which are basically like
you'd have to Manamorphose into several spells and then a Timir Battle Rage.
Right. So this is a swing for 10, and Tyler's like, sure, I'll trade 1 mana and a card for
seems good.
Fog 10 damage.
Yep, I like it. Cavern of Souls.
Naming Merfolk.
Unfortunately, if we did have a spotter, I would check it, but we don't have a spotter, so we're going to go ahead and assume that's Merfolk.
So. Yep. Okay. We're gonna redeploy that Silvergill and pop a Curse Catcher down the field. Also, there's a little bit of anti-value in bouncing a Curse Catcher with your Vapor Snag. You get to draw an extra card. Maybe find another way to interact with you.
That's true. I mean, you could bank on Tyler not having another Merfolk in his hand to reveal, but that's not usually going to work out.
All right. Daniel has some of the power here. He has access to at least 1 copy of Manamorphose. So he has to decide whether or not he wants to rip it and try and dig for the Battle Rage combo kill.
Right.
Or just be a little bit more conservative and force Tyler to chump block every single turn.
So his hand right now is Manamorphose, Kiln Fiends. He's doing a real good job of keeping that from us. I keep seeing that flooded, just like the left edge of that flooded strand and thinking it's a Maelstrom Pulse. Obviously it's not.
All right. So Daniel's looking to dig here and find another piece of action to go along with that Manamorphose. Maybe a Battle Rage.
I think it was a Lightning. No, it's not a Lightning.
He's going to deploy another Kiln Fiend.
So he's probably setting up for a future turn here.
Yeah, deploying 2 threats makes it so Tyler has to block everything.
Yeah. Right now, the Super Prowess triggers don't affect Kiln Fiend's toughness, so that Silvergill Adept is live to trade with it.
Right.
And as long as Tyler's building a board, Daniel wants to have multiple threats in play, so if he keeps up this letting Tyler trade his creatures for Daniel's threats, then...
Okay. So
then that's probably not a winning game plan for Daniel.
All right. So Daniel swinging here has his Kiln Fiend blocked with the Silvergill Adept. Tyler tapping 2 mana to deploy a Lord of Atlantis and a very late to the party Aether Vial. Getting a little frisky with a little Curse Catcher, attacking for 1, or actually attacking for 2 here, unblockable due to the Lord of Atlantis, both Lord Effect and the Island Walk granting to it. So I feel like we're just trying to draw into some power. The Thing in the Ice here gives Daniel a way to maybe break board state, but you still have a little bit of a nombo here with it being able to bounce the Kiln Fiend. So Daniel targets the Lord of Atlantis, causing him to Tyler to lose a life and thaw out that thing a little bit. He's going to get to swing in here for big old 4 damage from the Killed Fiend. Not the largest of swings that you expect out of the Beast Elemental, but a little bit of chip damage here and there will add up to a long-term game plan. Alright, Tyler going to find his 4th land drop here and starting to reach double spell territory. Can deploy a Lord here and maybe... Oh, it's an illusion, so he's not going to be able to deploy the Phantasmal Image. Instead, he's going to fire up that Mutavault and attack for 3, 4, 5. Again, unblockable due to the Lord effect. Daniel's natural islands here are just starting to get him in a little bit of trouble with Tyler able to trim on Spreading Seas and still get in with unblockable damage. Alright, so Tyler passes the turn here. So I feel like Daniel's looking for just to chain a couple spells and reset the board so he's not so far behind before that 8th vial can tick up to 2 and kind of maintain board parity. So we're going to bounce a Lord again and swing in for another 4. Not these huge swings that you're normally used to seeing out of Suicide Blue, but this consistent chunks of damage. It's getting really close in our life totals here.
Sorry, guys. I had a judge call we need to take care of. So, what's going on?
Oh, I'm sorry. It's going back and forth between Tyler just swinging in for 2, 3 to 5 damage, taking advantage of Lord of Atlantis' ability to grant Island Walk to Tyler's creatures, and Daniel just bouncing some of Tyler's creatures and swinging in for chunks of 4, smaller than normal.
That's game, isn't it? Right?
That's
all
lethal.
Right. Tyler Claypole 2-1 over Daniel Mohorski, Merfolk over Suicide Blue.
With all the Lord effects getting in there in the Island Walk, Daniel's natural islands coming back to bite him.
Yeah, you called that. You said that was going to be relevant at the beginning of the match, and you're not wrong.
Yep. So we have about 12 minutes left in the round. It looks like Tyler actually did win our little Eternal Masters pack that we left out there.
Foil top.
And he's gonna. Your foil top? No. I don't even think Tyler's gonna open a mythic. It's gonna be a Xanthid Swarm.
It's gonna be like, what's this?
Got a counterspell.
A counterspell.
You're going so fast, Tyler.
Days.
Force
of Will. All right.
All right. So maybe
and foil Sting Scorcher. All right. And he has to trade that towards Merfolk. He's not allowed to trade that towards foil commander cards. I'm gonna go down there and bug him.
All right. So what do you guys in the chat think about this? Tyler ripping this nice little Force
Will right on camera there. I think we're gonna have to freeze frame this so it can be the background on Tyler's Facebook.
All right, guys. I don't think we're really gonna have enough time to find a match.
No, we're gonna be back for round 4 here in just a little bit.
Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you here in about 12-15 minutes.
Thanks for hanging out.